Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to catch up with John, who's building his DIY hot tub out of ICF blocks. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so when we left John on the last video, his build looked something like this behind me. So as you can see, he's built the structure, he's got his waterproofing in. Next stages for John was to build the internal seats and put the pipework and the jets into those seats as well. And you can see from behind me here that he's actually doing this out of regular block. Now, what John did say was that if he did it again, he would probably use a different material or formed it, because he went through a couple of diamond drill bits quite quickly with coring the holes for those jets. John also said he found the plumbing a little bit fiddly, but that's totally normal. It is quite difficult to get everything in the sort of tight and enclosed spaces. So as you can see, his build is coming along quite nicely. He then checked all of the plumbing and he was comfortable enough that he was going to then backfill the seats, and he's just poured he said a weak mix of concrete in, so if he does need to kind of break it up to get in for any reason, it's not too strong of a mix, so he'd made a different mixture for those seat fills. Next step with John was to fire up his heat pump and add some temperature to the tub. And as you can see from the video here, all the jets working nicely. He's actually got above ground self-priming pumps. He's got a couple of those on that are 3 horsepower, the really nice pumps from Certikin, and you can see on that video there that his jets and his water look absolutely perfect. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that there's a bit of a tint to the colour of the water. It's not totally clear. This is because, firstly, there was some of the residue from the Ardex S7 waterproofing that he's used, and also, as it was only going to be a temporary fill for a test, John didn't want to use totally clean water, so he's used the water from the well, which has quite a lot of sediment in. He's just being mindful there of his water usage. At this point, John said, great, he had a couple of days, they were trying it out. They actually went in a couple of times as a family, great. Unfortunately for John, that was where the good times ended for this moment in time. When he was in, he noticed that there was something not quite right with an area of the tub. It felt like there was a kind of a big bubble. So he drained the tub, and under further investigation, he could see that the waterproofing has actually delaminated from the surface. So not good times. As you can see here, he's actually had to pull it all back and scrap the waterproofing layer. Now, he did speak to the manufacturers, and they said that the reason that it delaminated from the surface of the tub was that he used a primer, and he shouldn't have used a primer, and that the waterproofing, the S7, needs to go directly onto the surface. Now, it's always normal that manufacturers blame each other, but either way, John wasn't happy with simply patching up the area, so he has unfortunately ripped all of that waterproofing out, and it's going to be redone. There's always trials and tribulations of building a DIY hot tub. Mine was blowing control boards, if you've watched on the channel. John's, unfortunately, has been this waterproofing. So, what's the next steps for John? So, John spoke to the manufacturer of the ICF blocks to see what they recommended, and they gave him a product name called Vandex BB5. Now, unfortunately, the Vandex BB5 was out of stock, so that he managed to find a OEM own brand version called Dry Base, which was going to do exactly the same thing. Now, this came out at quite a reasonable price. However, you then found out that you've actually got to add plasticizer to that Dry Base material. So it ends up being quite an expensive way of waterproofing. Now, he could have gone back and used the Ardex, but he just wanted to actually change, as he did have a bad experience with that. Now, the ICF block manufacturer has said that lots and lots of people have used the Ardex onto those blocks without an issue, and they do recommend it. So it's not a case of, don't use the Ardex S7. It is a really good product. It just needs to go directly onto the surface so that it bonds with the surface and it doesn't delaminate as it did in the case of John's tub. Okay, so what's next for John? Well, he's applied the dry base with the plasticizer, and the only challenge with this is you have to keep it protected from the rain for 5 whole days, which, if you're from the UK like John is, it is a bit of a challenge as it does rain an awful lot. So he will be updating us on that and his progress, and I'll give you an update in the next video. As always, I hope you found this video useful. If I can help you with your DIY hot tub build in any way, please do get in touch. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, hit me up in the comments with any questions. Thanks for watching, I appreciate the view, and I'll see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.